Episode 6, The Foundation of Lasting Love, Building the Relationship You Deserve. Part 1, What Love Is, and What It's Not. Welcome to the Divine Frequency. In this final episode of the Relationship, Breaking the Cycle series, we return to the heart of it all, not the pain of what was, but the possibility of what can be. Let's begin with one simple truth. Love is not confusion. Love is not fear. Love is not begging for crumbs and calling it connection. What many people call love is often a projection, a patch for a childhood wound, a hope dressed in illusion, or a role we were conditioned to play. But true love is not a performance. It's not built on dependency or control. It's not two broken people clinging to each other in desperation. It's not about fixing someone or being fixed. And it's not about giving everything away to avoid being abandoned. Real love begins with truth. It begins with alignment. It begins with wholeness. When two people come together in love, each must already be on a path of self-honor. That doesn't mean being perfect. It means being aware. It means taking responsibility for your own wounds and not making your partner your therapist, your savior, or your emotional punching bag. Love, in its purest form, is not about finding someone to complete you, it's about becoming someone who reflects the kind of love you desire to receive. Because in truth, you do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. So today, we start with a powerful redefinition. Love is the meeting of two souls who have chosen to walk beside each other, not in chains, not in cages, but in freedom, awareness, and truth. This is the love you deserve. Part 2, Building Blocks of a Sacred, Lasting Relationship. If love is the soil, then trust is the root. Without trust, there is no safety, and without safety, no love can grow. A lasting relationship is not built on passion alone, or attraction, or grand romantic gestures. It is built on a foundation of emotional maturity, self-awareness, and daily devotion, not to the other person first, but to truth, to integrity, and to growth. Here are the sacred building blocks of a lasting, loving union. Safety, not just physical safety, but emotional sanctuary. A space where both people can be fully seen, heard, and held without fear of punishment or withdrawal. Truth, radical honesty. Saying what is true for you, even when it's uncomfortable. Listening to your partner's truth without trying to silence or reshape it. Responsibility, each partner owning their past, their triggers, their healing, and their impact. Not blaming. Not projecting. Not expecting the other to do the inner work for them. Shared vision, moving in the same direction, spiritually, emotionally, and in life goals. Love is not enough if your values are pulling you toward different futures. Sacred polarity, the dance of masculine and feminine energy. Not rooted in gender roles, but in energetic harmony, where one leads and the other flows, and both shift naturally in balance. Intimacy, the daily rituals of connection. The quiet moments. The small gestures. The willingness to be emotionally naked before each other. Not just sex, but presence. Forgiveness, knowing that you will hurt each other, sometimes without meaning to. And having the tools, the humility, and the heart to repair, again and again. Real love is not just about compatibility. It's about commitment to healing, commitment to learning, and commitment to the shared sacred space between you. A relationship is not a destination. It is a garden. What you plant, water, and protect will grow. And the fruit, if nurtured well, is nothing short of divine. Part 3, Love isn't found, it's created. Most people think love is something you stumble into. That if you're lucky, you'll find someone who gets you, completes you, heals you, and fills the empty spaces inside your soul. But true love doesn't work that way. Real love, the kind that lasts, isn't something you find. It's something you create, moment by moment, breath by breath, choice by sacred choice. To create love, you must first become love. You must become the kind of man or woman who is emotionally available, clear in your boundaries, honest with your wounds, and willing to be fully seen. Love isn't what you feel. Love is what you do. It's shown in the way you respond when you're angry. In how you show up when you're tired. In the words you choose when your ego feels bruised. In your willingness to lean in, instead of shut down, when fear whispers old stories from your past. You can only meet someone as deeply as they've met themselves. And they can only meet you as deeply as you've met yourself. That's why love is not luck. It is preparation. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And if what you are is still hiding from yourself, if your patterns still sabotage connection, if your pain still runs your nervous system, then even when love comes, you will not be able to hold it. You'll question it. Doubt it. Push it away. Or chase it until it breaks. That's why healing is not optional. It is sacred preparation. Because when love arrives, true love, it will not complete you. It will mirror you. And it will ask. Are you ready? Ready to be seen, without performance. Ready to be loved, without armor. Ready to give, without fear of losing yourself. That is the path of conscious love. Not a fairy tale. But a fire. One that burns away all that is false. Until only truth remains. Part 4, The Dance of Polarity, Masculine Presence and Feminine Radiance. At the heart of every thriving relationship is a subtle yet powerful dance, the dance of polarity. It's not about gender roles or outdated traditions. It's about energetic truth. The masculine energy is presence. Direction. Purpose. Stillness within chaos. It is the mountain that does not move, grounded, protective, clear. The feminine energy is expression. Radiance. Emotion. Movement. It is the ocean, vast, alive, and ever-changing. When the masculine stands strong in grounded awareness, the feminine softens and flows in trust. When the feminine expresses freely without fear of judgment, the masculine awakens to serve and protect with devotion. But in today's world, many are confused. Wounds have reversed the polarity. Men who were shamed for their masculinity shrink or become aggressive. Women who had to survive without being protected harden into independence. And so the dance becomes a tug-of-war, rather than a sacred union. But when both heal, when both come home to themselves, the polarity returns in its divine form. The masculine no longer dominates, he leads with love. The feminine no longer submits, she surrenders in trust. In this state, she inspires his greatness with her vulnerability. And he anchors her storm with his unwavering heart. It is a sacred charge. It's what electrifies passion, sustains intimacy, and creates the magnetism that makes love feel alive after 10, 20, even 50 years. It's what allows two souls to become one flame. Not because they need each other, but because they choose each other. Every day. With eyes open. With hearts aligned. Because in truth, polarity is not a power struggle. It's a power exchange. Each feeding the other. Each awakening the divine in the other. Until love becomes a living, breathing temple. Not built with hands. But with energy, intention, and sacred devotion. Part 5, The Silent Agreements That Shape Our Bonds. Not all vows are spoken aloud. Some of the most powerful promises between lovers are made in silence. Through glances, through gestures, through the quiet moments of choosing each other again and again. These are the unwritten agreements that form the soul of a lasting relationship. They sound like this. I promise to speak to you with kindness, especially when I'm hurting. I won't use silence as punishment, nor words as weapons. I promise to see your soul, even when your wounds show. I choose you, not just for who you are now, but for the divine being you are becoming. I will not abandon myself to keep you close, and I won't ask you to abandon yourself either. These silent vows create the sacred soil where trust grows. They prevent resentment from taking root. They protect the innocence between two hearts. They honor space, while holding intimacy sacred. For love to last, it must feel safe. Not just physically, but emotionally, energetically, spiritually. And safety is not created by perfect behavior, but by consistent intention. It is built in the moments when we pause before reacting. When we stay present instead of running. When we admit our triggers and take responsibility for our inner storms. Real love doesn't demand perfection. It asks for partnership in the practice. Two souls walking hand in hand. Not to escape themselves in each other, but to become more whole together. And in that shared wholeness, the relationship becomes a mirror. Not of our past wounds, but of our future expansion. When silent agreements are honored, the sacred union doesn't just survive. It thrives. Part 6, the sacred balance of giving and receiving. At the core of a divine relationship lies a sacred dance. The balance between giving and receiving. When one gives endlessly without receiving, they become depleted. When one receives without giving, they become entitled. Neither is love. Both are imbalance. True love flows like breath. Inhalation and exhalation. Offering and allowing. Holding and surrendering. There is no scorekeeping. There is only rhythm. And when both partners are attuned, love becomes music. Giving is not sacrifice when it is chosen from a full cup. It becomes sacred devotion. A soul offering that uplifts both giver and receiver. And receiving is not weakness. It is the courage to trust. To let love in. To believe you are worthy of being cherished, seen, supported. A divine union is one where both partners tend to each other's hearts. As carefully as they tend to their own. He asks her, "What fills your soul today?" She asks him, "What helps you feel strong, safe, and soft all at once?" They exchange not just gestures, but presence. Not just gifts, but healing. Not just affection, but energy. This is how love is kept alive. By checking in, not checking out. By giving with open hands, not clenched expectations. By receiving with gratitude, not guilt. The masculine and feminine meet here, in this dance. Not in dominance. Not in submission. But in harmony. The sacred balance of giving and receiving is not just what sustains love. It is what makes it divine. Part 7, the alchemy of intimacy, where souls touch through the body. True intimacy is not just a physical act. It is the silent language of two souls remembering each other. It is the prayer spoken not with words, but with breath, presence, and the soft courage of vulnerability. When a man and a woman unite in sacred love, their bodies are not merely seeking pleasure. They are seeking remembrance. Of a union that existed before time. Of a knowing that goes beyond form. In this union, the body becomes a bridge. Between the seen and the unseen. Between the realm of the physical and the energy field of the soul. As their energy rises through the body's sacred centers, known as chakras, a divine alignment begins to unfold. The root chakra grounds them in presence. The sacral chakra awakens emotional flow and sensuality. The solar plexus surrenders control and restores balance. The heart chakra opens to compassion and unconditional love. The throat expresses truth and vulnerability. The third eye bears witness to the divine in the other. And the crown chakra dissolves into oneness. A return to source. This is why true intimacy heals. Because when we are fully present with our beloved, not chasing performance or fantasy, but resting in reverence and conscious connection, we activate not just chemistry, but a field of coherence between heart, mind, and soul. In this sacred space, there is no ego. No fear, no need to impress. Only surrender. A divine permission to be fully seen. And fully accepted. When a man approaches a woman with reverence, he does not seek to take. He honors her as a living temple of the divine feminine. And when a woman opens to a man with trust, she is not giving herself away. She welcomes the mirror of grounded, conscious masculine energy. Together, they become a living prayer. A spark of creation. A reflection of the cosmic balance between Shiva and Shakti. In ancient Eastern wisdom, Shiva represents consciousness, stillness, and divine presence. The sacred masculine. Shakti represents energy, creation, and dynamic flow. The sacred feminine. Their dance is the dance of life itself. Consciousness and energy. Presence and movement. Union and creation. And so, when this harmony is awakened in a relationship, it becomes a wellspring of healing and rebirth. Not just for the lovers, but for the world around them. Because when the sacred masculine and sacred feminine meet in truth, they do not just make love. They become love. Part 8 and conclusion, a new blueprint for love. What if love was never meant to be found in perfection, but in presence? Not in possession, but in partnership. Not in fixing each other, but in growing together. Through seasons, through storms, through stillness. We were never meant to complete one another. We were meant to awaken each other. To hold up a mirror and say, I see you, not as broken, but as becoming. A sacred relationship is not built on fleeting desires, but on daily devotion. To truth, to healing, to grace. It is a sanctuary where both souls can return home. Not to escape the world, but to be fully seen, fully known, and still fully loved. This is the divine union. Not a fantasy, not a performance, but a living, breathing temple made of trust. Laughter, effort, rest, and honest conversations. So may you now know what to look for. Not in someone to complete you, but in someone who complements your journey, walks beside you, and chooses you again and again, even when it's hard. May you build the kind of love that does not just last, but lifts. That does not just shine in the light, but survives the dark. That doesn't promise ease, but offers truth. And may your soul be brave enough to choose this kind of love, because you know now that you deserve it. Next on the Divine Frequency. This concludes our Breaking the Cycle series on love, relationships, and healing. In our next series, we shift from the relationship mirror inward, into the soul's sacred journey of self-mastery, purpose, and awakening. We'll explore topics like how to tune into divine guidance, manifest your reality through energetic alignment, overcome self-sabotage, and embody your highest frequency. If you've been asking, what's next for my soul? This new chapter is for you. Until then, stay connected, stay present, and stay open. Because the universe is always speaking to you. In signs, in synchronicities, and in the quiet whisper of your heart. If this episode stirred something deep within you, and you feel called to explore these insights even further, there is a sacred offering unfolding soon, the Relationship Mirror, a written reflection on the patterns we carry, the lessons we attract, and the healing we are meant to embody. When it becomes available, you'll find a quiet link in the description below, for those who are ready to look within. Your voice matters. If there is a relationship theme, soul question, or sacred cycle you'd like us to explore in future episodes, we welcome your reflections. Leave a comment below or reach out, your suggestion may become the next Divine Frequency transmission. Together, we rise, one reflection, one revelation at a time. Welcome home, beloved, to the divine frequency.